Here's a very long, cinematic, emotionally deep story, written strictly according to your title, with matching tone, suspense, and message. No dialogue format, long plain paragraphs, English character names, and viewer engagement exactly where you asked. The knock came at midnight, sharp and deliberate, slicing through the thin walls of a rundown apartment where silence usually meant safety. It wasn't the kind of knock made by neighbors or delivery mistakes. It carried authority, impatience, and something heavier beneath it. Ethan Cole, a single father running on exhaustion and unpaid bills, froze mid-step as the sound echoed again. His first thought wasn't fear for himself, but for the small bedroom behind him, where his daughter Lily slept clutching a worn-out stuffed bear. Life had taught him that nothing good arrived after midnight, especially not for men like him. Before the story truly begins, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet strength that goes unseen every day, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from tonight. Ethan hadn't always lived like this. Once he had dreams that stretched further than survival. He had studied engineering part-time, worked full-time, and believed effort alone could outwork bad luck. But when Lily's mother passed away suddenly, the world didn't slow down for his grief. Hospital bills piled up, promotions vanished, and overtime became his only currency. He took a janitorial job at a large corporate building owned by Hawthorne Industries, not because it matched his skills, but because it paid on time. His boss, Margaret Hawthorne, was a powerful CEO, known for her sharp decisions and colder reputation. She rarely noticed people like Ethan, men who kept buildings clean after everyone else went home, men whose names never appeared in reports or meetings. That night, as Ethan opened the door, the hallway light spilled in, revealing a figure that didn't belong there. Margaret Hawthorne stood outside his apartment, her tailored coat out of place against peeling paint and flickering bulbs. She hadn't come with security, she hadn't come with assistance. Her eyes scanned the cramped space with something unfamiliar resting behind them. Ethan's mind raced, assuming the worst. Maybe there had been a mistake at work. Maybe someone accused him of something. Maybe he was about to lose the only job keeping Lily fed. His hands trembled as he asked why she was there, his voice barely steady, his heart pounding louder than the silence between them. Earlier that same evening, Margaret had stayed late at the office, reviewing internal reports she had ignored for years. A new ethics advisor had flagged unusual employee performance data. One name kept appearing, attached to maintenance logs, safety incident prevention, and anonymous improvement suggestions that had saved the company millions. The name didn't belong to an executive or consultant. It belonged to Ethan Cole. Digging deeper, Margaret found archived documents, revealing that Ethan had once submitted a full engineering proposal years ago, a proposal that had been quietly shelved by middle management. She also discovered complaints Ethan had filed about unsafe conditions, complaints that had been dismissed until accidents never happened because he fixed them himself. Standing there at midnight, Margaret asked Ethan to repeat something he had just said about how he only did what was necessary to protect others, especially his child. She wanted him to say it again while looking directly at her. Not as a boss, not as a CEO, but as a person finally seeing the cost of her company's blindness. Ethan didn't raise his voice. He didn't beg. He simply spoke the truth he had lived by for years. He explained that he worked quietly because noise never fed a child, that pride didn't keep the lights on, and that dignity sometimes meant being invisible while doing the right thing anyway. Margaret felt something shift. For the first time in decades, success felt hollow. She saw not an employee, but a man crushed by responsibility and still standing. Over the following days, everything changed, slowly, realistically, without miracles. Ethan wasn't handed instant wealth or dramatic applause. Instead, he was invited into rooms he had once cleaned. His old proposals were revisited. His ideas were tested and proven solid. A new role was created, not out of pity, but out of necessity. Margaret also personally ensured Lily's education fund was secured, not as charity but as acknowledgement of years stolen by silence. Ethan struggled with the change. Imposter syndrome crept in. He feared being exposed, feared losing it all again. But each challenge reminded him that he had already survived the worst nights, the quiet hunger, the loneliness, the constant fear. Now he had a chance not just to survive, but to build. Lily noticed the difference first. Her father smiled more. The apartment felt warmer even before they moved. Hope returned in small ways, like laughter at dinner and plans for tomorrow. Margaret Hawthorne never told anyone about that midnight visit. She didn't need praise. She needed correction. Hawthorne Industries changed policies, not overnight, but deliberately. Voices once ignored were now heard. Invisible workers became essential contributors. And Ethan Cole became a symbol not of luck but of resilience meeting accountability. Just before this story ends, take a moment to comment one word that describes how this story made you feel. Your words matter more than you think. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that unseen strength still counts, please like, share, and comment so more people can find stories like this. Sometimes all it takes is one knock at the right moment to change everything.